Hey everyone, welcome to the Anarchy Podcast. 99% of traders will never make consistent profits. So why listen to the 99% of advice? On this show, we're going to challenge some of the most hallowed and repeated tenets of trading, and in doing so, set you up to succeed where others fail. Spoiler alert, we don't have a secret strategy or magic wand that will let you skip out on the hard work of learning the markets, but we can debunk viewpoints that are holding you back. If that sounds good to you, come join us. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Anarchy Day Trading Podcast. It has been a little while. We took a brief hiatus as Jordan, things have been happening in your life. I moved. A lot of things have happened, so we are back. Don't worry, we are going to be back with our weekly scheduled programming. We have a lot of new stuff to talk about, and so yeah, things have been really exciting, and we have a lot of exciting stuff going forward. Today, I wanted to chat, Jordan, about something that I've been dealing with myself, and I've talked with a few other people about this, which is, I think, it definitely for me, and I know a lot of other day traders fall into this category. I often fall into the trap of feeling like day trading is just about calling a direction, right? I think it's going to go up now, or I think it's going to go down now.
Mm.
And Jordan, I've talked with you about this, and so I'll let you kick it off. But I wanted to talk a bit about not just about how day trading isn't about just picking a direction, but it's also about picking trades that give you the best probability. And that has a lot to do with a few different factors that we've talked about, and I wanted to kind of expand on this. I think this is going to be actually a really helpful episode for a lot of not just beginners, but intermediates who might be getting a feel for direction, but they're not getting the math correct. And there's a few ways that traders can put the math in their own direction. Jordan, how have you been, man?
I've been doing well. Been busy working. Currently actually in the hunt for a new job. I just finished my last contract here. And so currently kind of job hunting, kind of seeing what they're around, focusing on trading a lot. Actually finally had some decent trading here recently. So really nice to actually get some decent trades in here. Seems like the tariff scares have kind of died down and everything. So yeah, just been enjoying stuff and glad to have you back in the same time zone, dude. Man, I never thought that just that 4 hour difference with you in Hawaii would make a big difference, but dang, it's been tough. So glad to have you
It's been
back.
really hard.
Good in the good old continental U.S. of A.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's been tough. Like you've been working kind of late nights. I've been 4 hours ahead, and it just has not worked. So everybody, again, apologies for our we've been maybe a little bit more lax than we normally have been. We've been very faithful getting weekly or bi-weekly podcasts out for a couple years now, and the last month has been slow. So we're getting back onto the ball. Appreciate it. So Jordan, talk to me a little bit about what you've been kind of on topic, how traders kind of get this idea wrong, and maybe try to, instead of just guessing direction, what other things traders need to be looking for?
Yeah, so I think a lot of times, as traders, we get so caught up in trying to get our entries right that we kind of forget about the rest of the trade, right? Because I think, especially as scalpers, it's all about like we got to get in now, or you got to get in now. But then we forget that, oh wait, once I'm in it, what am I going to do? Where's this trade going? What am I targeting? How long am I targeting for? And that's a question that like you start asking yourself once you're in the trade. But honestly, it's something you need to be asking yourself before you even get into the trade, as you were alluding to earlier, just because of the fact that, like, listen, you can have a great entry where, let's say, you're doing a breakout and retest and it's perfect, and you get entered in. But then you're doing that at exactly the top of the range, and poof, your trade just ends up going in the opposite direction 10 seconds later. Ask me how I know. Happened to me last week. But that's I think kind of what we're trying to talk about is looking at a trade holistically, not just at, let's say your entry or stop loss, which is I think what traders tend to focus on.
Yeah, so I started thinking about this a lot because I was reading a book, and we're actually doing an episode next time on trading resources. We're updating our trading resources list. We did one over a year ago. We had a question from a guy on YouTube about it. Shout out to that guy. Really appreciate it. So we're going to be doing an episode on on our trading resources, and I was reading this book, and he's a long-term guy, so he'll take swing trades the last days. um but he was talking about this, about how he makes a plan before he takes a trade. Now obviously he has literal hours to decide to take a trade, or at least, half an hour solid. And so he was talking about, okay, where am I looking to get out of? Where's the likely retracement levels, and where does it make sense to have my stop loss, and blah blah blah. He was talking about kind of planning out his trade. Now, like you said, we trade on 15-second candles. We are scalpers. And this kind of reminded me because I've been trying to fix something in my chess game lately. I've been playing a lot of bullet chess, which is just each person has a minute. It's crazy fast. It's mostly feel, and I really like it. I encourage scalpers to do it because I
What's your
have this
rating on bullet chess, just out of curiosity?
really bad. It's like a 1100. It's fine. Um, it's not great. It's like 80th percentile, something like that. Um, but I have this really bad habit of not thinking while the other person's playing. Like, I'll just play my move, and then my brain just empties until they play a move, and then my brain starts working again. Instead of, really, your brain should always be going. You should play your move and then be thinking, okay, they're likely to play X move. And if they play X move, what should I do in response to that? Right. And so I have this really bad habit of just, in kind of the break moments, not playing, right? You're playing the entire time you're playing, even if it's not your turn, right? And this is if you can see where the analogy is going, when you're scalping, I have a really bad habit of just playing when my look comes around instead
Right.
of preparing the entire time I'm watching. If I'm watching the 15-second chart, going, okay, here's kind of a solid stop loss. Here's where price is likely to retrace. Okay, if I'm going to take a trade, price is there's a really strong resistance area here, and price is likely going to bounce off that, so that will most likely be my take profit. Okay, if that's my stop loss, if that's my take profit, is this even a good trade to take? Like, oftentimes, like you said, we take trades going, okay, I think it's going to go my way, but then, like, there's a strong resistance or support area right, like, in just a little ways, and it's most likely not going to go past that, or at least it's not high probability. And you've been having a really wild, not a tight stop loss, not a tight resistance. And so you have a huge stop loss, and the trade, the math doesn't even work. And so I guess my advice to people is practice thinking, while before you take the trade, of, hey, does the stop loss make sense? Where's price likely to retrace? And be honest with yourself. We like to be really optimistic, I think, too many times. I know I am. Be pessimistic. Think, where's price likely to retrace? Okay, where's price likely to run if it does go my way? Okay, given that, does this trade make sense?
Yeah, no, it's a good point, and I would say like you also have to bear in mind though, like be cautious that okay, if you look at the chart, and I mean I was watching a ridiculous, for some reason I managed to do a really good job. So like for the last probably 6 months, YouTube has fed me no trading videos. Maybe that's because we weren't doing podcasts as much or something, and my phone wasn't listening to me. I don't know, but the fact is, it fed me some videos, and so I got a video that was fed to me just like last week, and the guy was talking how his 1 to 50 risk to reward ratio was his winning strategy because all he had to do was win once every 50 trades, and he would be a winning trader. And I was like, my word, go back. We have a podcast on risk to reward ratios. But the fact is, like, it was kind of just reminding me, like, again, just because you think don't get greedy. I actually discovered
Right.
back a few when I was looking at my journal that I was trying to get greedy here over the last few months. I was, especially with the volatility, I was kind of starting to stretch out my risk to reward, and had to kind of go back to the basics of my 1 to 1.5 or something. And so that's kind of just to bear that in mind. Like you're not looking for something, you're not looking at this and going, "Oh, this thing can stretch 10R. I'm gonna." No, no, no. Just make sure that it fits your style, right? Like that's gonna
Yeah.
hit what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I guess my what often gets me is I will take trades really my setup, and other people's are different, other people's strategies, but my setup is typically looking for price to um drive past the support and resistance line and then pull back and then give me a little bit of a tight consolidation because I don't like huge whippy prices because then if I take a trade, oftentimes I get knocked out and ticked out before it goes my way. I prefer when hey, look, if it goes against me, it goes against me. And then I can take a reverse trade. But I don't like getting whipped out and then it goes my way. It really rots my socks. And so if that's the type of trade that I'm trying to avoid, we'll look for that and be honest, right? And so if I'm also looking for a 1 to 1.5 trade, we'll make sure the trade I'm about to take has that room to run. I know oftentimes I'll take trades just going, oh, it's going my way, but there's a really strong support area right where I'm like right next to where I'm taking the trade. And it's like, okay, well, is it going to reach where I'm going to hit, where I'm aiming? Well, maybe not, probably not, in fact. And so that's where looking at it as a whole trade, not just going, hey, is it going to go my direction? That's not enough. Remember, a blind monkey can call the correct direction of a trade 50% of the time. Like direction's easy. You'll get a feel for direction really quick as a trader. It's about timing. It's about getting the correct timing, knowing are you going to get knocked out of all your trades? Is it going to go 3/4 of the way towards your, take profit and then reverse? It's all about timing, knowing when to get in and when to get out. And so be really looking for that. Like Jordan, like you said, it's a whole package, right? It's not just about direction. It's that whole package. So be aiming for that. Be thinking of that as you're watching price play out. So you have a really better idea of, hey, is this trade not just going to go my direction, but is it actually going to win me money over the long run?
Yeah, and that kind of just reminds me also just tell people, listen, if you guys have questions about this, if you have questions about R&R or like how to get your trades in or whatever, feel free to drop us a question. You can reach out to us, contact at anarchytrading.com. You can reach us on our Twitter, or should I say X, and feel free to reach out and we'll try to get to every question that we get asked. We do respond to. Goodness, you can respond to just the comments in Spotify. Get some engagement on Spotify going. You can just put in a comment there. We do reply to all of those. So welcome any questions you
That's
may
true.
have.
That's true. And we're going to be starting to do some just some question and answer episodes, and as well as weekly Twitter spaces, Twitter lives. So maybe you can come in if anybody has any live questions they want to ask. Feel free. We're going to be starting that up as well. So
I mean, when it comes to this and other questions, like when about like R and like when to enter, again, if you're new to this channel, you might be asking, well, how do I know? What's your technique? Listen, guys, I just want to remind you, it's feel based, right? We don't have a great, we trade it. We're gonna trade, we're gonna trade essentially exactly the same. We're going to tell you how to trade exactly the same as every single guru on YouTube, right? We're going to draw some lines on a chart and then we're going to wait until a line crosses another line. And then if it looks right based off of the wind and the prevailing barometric pressure, we're going to enter into that trade. Like that's all there is to it, right? It's not rocket science, but it is feel based and it takes time. So kind of bearing that in mind is also very important. Like again,
yeah.
this is not rocket science. There's not a formula. If it was, there would be billionaires who were just creating, trading robots that could do this. They don't exist. I don't care what people tell you. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely true. It is a skill. Just because it's simple doesn't mean it's not incredibly hard, and most people fail at it because um, I think people get the wrong idea about that. So, yeah, that's absolutely true. Guys, thanks for listening. If you feel like this has been helpful, remember to share the episode, like and subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate your guys' support. And so subscribe and listen to on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, wherever you hear it, and share it with your friends if you think it's useful. And again, if you have any questions, always reach out. We answer every single question that comes across our desk. If we didn't answer your question, maybe you ended up in our spam folder. So shoot us another email. We'd love to get back to you. Thanks, guys.